Life and Times of Sergeant Charles Spiteri, Royal Malta Artillery, 1920 to 1975. Sergeant Charles Il Coco Spiteri was born on the 31st of March, 1920, at Paola, Malta. He joined the army in 1939, just before the outbreak of the Second World War, when career jobs were very hard to come by, and the army was considered an attractive opportunity for any aspiring young man. In 1939 the Royal Malta Artillery had again been called out to its war stations, when general mobilization was ordered in Malta for the second time, in living memory. Gunner Charles Spiteri was initially enlisted at the RTD, the Recruits Training Depot, at Fort Ricasoli, and then transferred to a Coast Defence Regiment of the Royal Malta Artillery. Gunner Spiteri and guns of the Royal Malta Artillery regiments were at the epicentre of the battle against the Italian E-boat seaborne attack on Grand Harbour on the 26th of July 1941. The 26th of July 1941. Italian torpedo boats attack Malta Grand Harbour. The operation started at about 5 a.m. Boat wakes were noticed, and gun detachments were alerted. When the breakwater was hit by an Italian E-boat, all hell broke loose, and any boat being seen, or emerging from the mists, was quickly destroyed by the Royal Malta Artillery coastal defences. Two of the remaining boats, still in the water, were then abandoned by their drivers, and a ceasefire was ordered by the defenders, to try and capture them intact. One can easily envisage a young gunner Spiteri, together with the rest of the gun detachment, actively aiming, loading and firing the gun at the attacking Italian E-boats. The success of the defense was obviously due to the said well-drilled efforts and skill of the officers and men. Impressive also was the courage, and determination of the Italian Navy to charge head-on into this barrage, without any support, with the boat drivers very much on their own, in highly explosive boats and human torpedoes. In its long and glorious history, these were definitely the finest hours of the Royal Malta Artillery. The post-World War II years. Sergeant Charles Spiteri, while training with 1st Regiment at Tahuna, Libya. November 1961. Sergeant Spiteri, with 20 years of military service behind him, and a wife and 7 children to support, was the first Royal Malta Artillery soldier to sign on and accept the new terms of service offered to the Royal Malta Artillery, which included service with the British Army of the Rhine in Germany. (1964). From Malta to Australia. On the 5th of February, 1964, Sergeant Spiteri, with 3 of his young daughters, left Malta for Australia by the steamship Roma. 10,000 miles they sailed through wind and rain, giving up their home and their own flesh and blood. They arrived in Melbourne at the end of February 1964, little knowing that the Italian ship they sailed on, the SS Roma, was none other than the refitted World War II escort aircraft carrier, HMS Atheling. Charles' wife, Carmen, with their other 4 children, followed on the SS Sydney, 4 weeks later. Sergeant Charles Spiteri, with his wife and children, settled down to a happy life in Melbourne, Australia, where he followed a long and very successful career as a senior warden at a juvenile reformatory. Sergeant Charles Spiteri, a smart soldier throughout, the epitome of an artillery sergeant, a credit to his family, his country and his regiment. On the 3rd of May, 1975, the Lord said to him, "Come with me by yourself to a quiet place and get some rest." Mark 6:31.